Okay, this is the distributive property in solving equations. So distribute means multiply, and specifically you multiply the number that is smushed up against the parentheses with everything in the parentheses. So I have to multiply the 6 with the negative 3x, and I have to multiply the 6 with the positive 1. So 6 times negative 3x makes a negative 18x, and 6 times 1 makes a positive 6, so I put plus 6. These aren't like terms, so I can't add them or subtract them, so that's it. I'm done. So you have to keep in mind, distributing means multiply, but it means multiply the number that's smushed with the parentheses with everything in the parentheses. Look at this problem. Is the 4 smushed against the parentheses? No. If the problem looked like this, with the 4 smushed against the parentheses, then I would multiply the 4 with everything inside the parentheses. 4 times 2x would make 8x, and 4 times a negative 5 would make a negative 20. So that's what it would look like if the 4 was smushed against the parentheses. What's smushed against the parentheses in this problem? The minus sign. So I can think of this as distributing a negative, or I can think of it as distributing a negative 1 that you don't see. And I'll talk about both ways, over the next several weeks. So negative 1 times 2x makes a negative 2x, and negative 1 times a negative 5 makes a positive 5. Now, if I just think of that as distributing a negative just changes the signs of everything. So a negative times a positive 2x makes a negative 2x. A negative times a negative 5 makes a positive 5. So distributing a negative just changes the signs of whatever is in the parentheses. The positive 2x became negative, the negative 5 became positive. So you can think of it as distributing a negative, which just changes the signs of everything inside the parentheses, or you can think of it as distributing a negative 1. Whatever you like better. Now this 4 that's in front, I drop him down. Now I want to look to see if I have any like terms, and I do. I have constants that are alike. So how much is a positive 4 and a positive 5? A positive 9. So I'm going to bring down my negative 2x, and then I'm going to write the plus 9. Okay, so now we're going to apply this in solving equations. So step 1 says remove all parentheses using the distributive property. Step 2 says combine like terms that occur on the same side of the equation. I only get to combine like terms if they're on the same side of the equals. And then I get rid of addition and subtraction, and then I get rid of multiplication and division. So number 1, do you see parentheses? Yes. So first thing I need to do is distribute whatever is smushed against the parentheses. So that means multiply the 4 with everything inside. 4 times x makes 4x. 4 times negative 3 makes negative 12. Once you have finished distributing, the parentheses are gone. So no more parentheses. Now I recopy the plus 2x that's in the back, the equals, and the 36. Remember the other day we learned that whenever you have like terms on the same side of the equals, you want to combine them. So I do see that I have x's on the same side, so I want to combine those. 4x plus 2x makes 6x. The negative 12, there's nothing to combine it with, so I just bring it down. And there's no like terms on the right side, so I just bring the 36 down. Okay, since I only have one x to solve for, let me circle everything smushed with it. Whatever's outside the circle, we add or subtract. So I get rid of my minus 12 by adding it. The 6x a drop, the equals a drop. 36 plus 12 makes 48. And then how do I undo multiplication? I divide, so I divide both sides by 6. And 48 divided by 6 makes 8. And there's our answer. Okay, number 2. Do you see any parentheses? Yes, we have to get rid of them. So I need to distribute. I need to multiply my negative 5 with everything inside the parentheses. So how much is negative 5 times x? Negative 5x. How much is a negative 5 times a negative 3? A positive 15, so I put plus 15. I bring down my equals and my negative 30. Now let's just check for like terms. Do you see any like terms on the left side of the equals? No. Any like terms on the right side of the equals? No. Okay, so let's circle our negative 5x. How do I get rid of the plus 15? I subtract it. So I subtract 15 from both sides. The negative 5x a drop. My equals a drop. How much is negative 30 minus 15? They're both negative, so I add them and I get a negative 45. Undo multiplication by dividing. So I divide both sides by negative 5. And how much is negative 45 divided by negative 5? It is a positive 9. Okay, couple more problems. Number 3. Do you see parentheses? Yes. So I need to distribute to make them go away. So 1/5 is what's smushed against the parentheses. So I'm going to take 1/5 times everything inside. So I want to take 1/5 times 10x. So off to the side here, I'm just going to show 1/5 times 10. Remember, every number is understood to be over a positive 1. Now, multiplying fractions, that's easy. I can multiply straight across, then reduce, or I could reduce on the diagonal first. I'm going to show you both ways, just in case you don't remember. 1 times 10 makes 10. 5 times 1 makes 5. Reduce. 10 divided by 5 makes 2. So 1/5 times 10x is 2x. Now, let me just show you the same problem, but showing you how to reduce on the diagonal first. With the diagonal, I ask myself, is there anything I can divide both of these numbers by? And what's the biggest thing? I can divide both of these by 5. 5 divided by 5 makes a 1. 10 divided by 5 makes a 2. Now I can multiply straight across. 1 times 2 makes 2. 1 times 1 makes 1. And I get the 2 that I got up here. Okay, next I need to take 1/5 times a negative 15. So 1/5 times a negative 15, which I'm going to pop over a 1. So you do whatever you prefer to do. Most of the time I prefer to go and reduce my diagonal, but this time I'm just going to go straight across. 1 times negative 15 makes negative 15. 5 times 1 makes 5. Reduce. What's negative 15 divided by 5? Negative 3. So 1/5 times negative 15 makes a negative 3. And then I just bring down the equals 15. Any like terms on the left side of the equals? Nope. Right side? Nope. So let's circle our 2x. What do you do next? Get rid of the minus 3 by adding 3. The 2x drops, the equals drops. 15 plus 3 makes 18. Undo your multiplication, so we divide both sides by 2, and the answer is 9. All right, last one. Do you see parentheses? Yes, so we need to get rid of them by distributing. What is smushed against the parentheses? If you said 2, you're almost right. It is a negative 2. So let me just distribute the negative 2. What's negative 2 times 5x? A negative 10x. What is negative 2 times a positive 3? A negative 6. I'm going to go ahead and bring down my equals and my negative 1. Remember, there's no more parentheses because once you've distributed, they go away. Now, don't forget about this little 9x that was in the front. Just drop him. Okay, looking on the left side of my equals, do you see any like terms? Yes. The 9x and the minus 10x. So let's combine those. How much is 9x minus 10x? A negative x or a negative 1x? I'm going to drop my minus 6, my equals, and my negative 1. Now that I only have my 1x, let me circle him. And now what's your next move? Let's get rid of our minus 6 by adding it. The negative 1x a drop down, the equals a drop down. How much is negative 1 plus 6? Positive 5. Your next step, divide both sides by negative 1. And your final answer, x equals negative 5. And there it is. That's distributing, combining like terms, and a little fraction work. Good job. Thank you.